Hey, and welcome to another episode of Just Another Effing Podcast. I am your host. I'm better than the Konami code. I am the JFB, James from Boston.
And you might know me as the guy who can get you 100 lives on Mario. You might know me as the guy who's won all the championships in all the video games of all time. I'm Canada Dry, damn it.
We have a special guest with us. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them what you do.
Hey, I'm Kyle. I run AEW All Elite Wrestling Discussion Facebook group, and I also work for AEW Games as part of the social media team.
Awesome. So, Elite GM, any pointers on how to not stink at this game?
I couldn't tell you. I'm terrible at it as well.
I'm a little disappointed because of the beard that you have. We were going to pretend you were AJ Styles and try to pass you up. He does look a bit like AJ Styles. So.
I get that all the time.
Yeah, you do look a lot like him.
It's crazy.
All right, so before we get into our main topic of discussion, let's go over some of the news. We have a winner for our July giveaway. It's Damian Porter. He will win a official effing wrestling T-shirt of his choice. So congratulations, Damian! Woo!
He is a huge he's a crate. No, don't use that word. He is a huge fan of Natalia Markova, and he just joined the league yesterday at AFW. Yes. So that's awesome.
Yeah, so he is our official winner for July. There's time for August, so you can go ahead and click on the link in the show notes and go ahead and subscribe, and you will be entered in to win for our August drawing, and you'll have to figure out what the prize is going to be for that month.
So Damien gets to pick one of the 3 shirts, right?
Yeah, he gets to pick one of our 3 shirts, either the Effin' Bird, the Select Your Host, or the Gimmick Boy, which is what Canada Dry is wearing currently right now as we speak.
It's perfect for the show.
This week marked the 6-year anniversary of the passing of Roddy Piper. He is a personal favorite of mine. He is my all-time favorite wrestler. Of course, my favorite memory of Roddy is the coconut to the head of Jimmy Snuka. What is your guys' favorite Roddy Piper moment?
Go ahead, Kyle.
I was going to say the same thing James said, the coconut to Jimmy Snuka, for sure.
I'm going to go with his feud with Adrian Adonis up till WrestleMania 3. Yeah. That was just fire. Everything about that moment was cool, from handing off to creating Brutus the Barber Beefcake. The flower shop, destroying the flower shop, just everything about that feud was awesome. Adrian had so much heat, and Piper was probably at his that's the babyface turn. It was probably Piper at his best.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, besides wrestling, I really liked Piper. He used to be on a TV show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep,
he was the Maniac.
Yep,
I loved his character on that.
So did he play a wrestler? I didn't see that. Did he play a wrestler?
Yeah, he played a wrestler.
Yeah, he played a wrestler called the Maniac.
All right, so John Moxley is joining with a former tag partner from CZW. That is, of course, Sami Callihan, as they're going to take on the Good Brothers in New Japan Pro Wrestling's USA branch. AEW made a trademark yesterday. It is for the thing called the King of Hearts, HARTS.
I am super pumped about this.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest Owen Hart fan. Wow.
Yeah.
I hope it's. What do you know about this, Kyle? Do you know anything?
I don't know anything specifically, but from just rumors going around, people thinking it may be like a King of the Ring style tournament, but in Owen Hart's name.
Yeah.
That would be so sick. And I think, wow, and obviously Martha has given the okay on this. So wow.
Yeah. I think it would be great, especially having Brett involved with it as well, and kind of reuniting both Martha with the rest of the Hart family. I know there's a lot of issues from lawsuits and he said, she said, and a lot of blame. And it'd be a nice way to kind of.
It would be like me and JFB were talking before the show, and we were just kind of brought up a bit of emotions. If this could, reunite the Hart family, and even bring the kids in their age, and what's the daughter's name?
I can't remember.
Athena? Is it Athena?
Yeah, Athena. I think that's it.
If they were to bring that, and that would just be such a precious moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And once again, Tony Khan is a bridge.
He's opening up forbidden doors as we speak.
Tony Khan is nothing but a fucking bridge.
Yeah.
Sorry for the language on F and Wrestling.
Our last one is Wyndham Rotunda, better known as Bray Wyatt and The Fiend, was released. The other Khan, Nick Khan, the CEO or the creative director of WWE, said it was a budget cut, but seeing as Bray Wyatt and The Fiend are always in the top 5 merchandise, it makes you wonder exactly why this was done. I'm going to put it out there first. I'm going to say 100% WWE is getting ready to sell, and it's going to be to NBC. Mark my words, NBC and WWE, they're going to
NBC,
not Disney.
Yeah, no. I've heard either NBC or Disney, and that's what I expect to happen in the next few years.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen sooner than later because, NBC has the streaming rights on Peacock. That's NBC Universal Comcast.
The worst streaming service ever.
Yeah. And, yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I think it happens before the end of the year. I think NBC makes a huge power play and buys out WWE.
That's the only thing that people can explain it, because it seems like they're just trying to make it look as profitable as possible before they sell.
Oh, so yeah, is anyone protected in this WWE though?
Nope.
Is anyone off ground?
Honestly, I don't even know, because after the last time when they cut Braun Strowman, I was like, okay, anybody can get cut.
Yeah.
I was just talking with one of the people in AEW chat. The New Day was brought up by the Young Bucks.
I saw that.
They're going to wrestle
put that in
one
their
day.
bio. Yeah, and they did that back before FTR got released.
So there's no way the New Day are more protected than Bray Wyatt.
No, there's no way, dude. Speaking of Bray Wyatt, I'll tell you, I don't know if people, people are fans of him, but since he's in AEW, if Bray does end up going there, if he still wants to stay in wrestling, I would love for Bray and Matt Hardy to team back up, just because them two doing their gimmicks like they were doing in WWE, but with the shackles off, with full creativity, would be amazing.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it would be a good chance for Matt to go back to Broken Matt, which is it was a bit stale, but
yeah. But I saw where yesterday it seemed Evil Uno was getting a little mad that every time somebody gets released by WWE, people want them to go to Dark Order and stuff. Yeah, he seemed a little mad about that. But I will say that out of everybody, though, Bray Wyatt would be the most respectful thing to join Dark Order, given his relationship.
And that would be cool to bring in Eric Redbeard as well. Once you bring in,
how insane is it that the Wyatt family is now, the entire Wyatt family is gone, and even at one point Daniel Bryan was part of the Wyatt family. So
yeah,
they're all gone.
It is they're talking about the Wyndham cult that Bray put on his on one of his social media accounts.
Oh wow.
So it'll be interesting to see exactly where this goes.
Yeah.
In terms of the long term, which I think is really good for Bray, because I think Bray, that methodical character needs time to build, and AEW is where you get a few months to go ahead and build your character and build.
I would love to see what he can do with full creativity. There's
let's not forget what Vince McMahon said days before.
Yeah.
that we're happy to give you more talent. Like what?
And then literally released
he was
from
playing it hard.
yeah.
He's going crazy in his old age.
From what I've been hearing, that may not be all the talent releases happening.
Yeah, there's supposed to be more coming up in the
That's
pipeline soon. So
that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
We
understand.
need to do like one of those things where we all put money in and see who gets the next release.
I'll tell you what really sucks though is that they basically took Bray's gimmick that his creation, gave it to Alexa, and then fired him.
Yeah,
it's like that's so shitty.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Mickey James mentioned that, and she was
Yeah.
like, right on, hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into our main topic, the auditory orgasm that we're going to give you, because with Kyle being a member of the AEW gaming social media team, I thought it would be fun to bring him on and have us do our top 5 wrestling video games of all time. An extension to almost every wrestling fan is usually they're a video game fan as well. From the 8-bit era to your current gaming systems, professional wrestling and video games go hand in hand.
There's so many games.
Now that we're joined by Kyle today, seemed like a perfect time to deep dive into the Wayback Machine and lament on our favorite video games of all time. Kyle, you won the flip backstage. What is your number 5?
Okay, number 5. I could really put any of these games that had any position. I can flip back and forth, but I'm gonna have to go with. I'm not sure how many people played it because I think it was an Xbox exclusive. WWE Raw 2.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun playing that back when I first got an Xbox and I didn't have many games to play. I had Halo and WWE Raw 2, and I played Raw 2 so much.
Yeah, I played it to the point where the disc got scratched. I had to replace it.
Yeah.
Did you have the game too, JFB?
What now?
I was asking JFB if he owned this game.
Yeah, I still have it somewhere. I have my original.
It's super fun. It's really fun. There's a ton of creativity you can do in this game. Like, a lot of people kind of probably didn't play it because it's just an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah. What is yours, Canada Dry? What's your number 5?
Okay, so my list, they're not necessarily the best games, but they're the best memories for me. So I'm going to go back memory-wise. Number 5 is from the Nintendo Entertainment System, and that is made by Data East Tag Team Wrestling.
Yep.
And I tried playing it, and it doesn't have the same, but I loved that game so much as a kid. I was playing on my black and white TV as a kid. We rented it with my good friend, and we played it all night long, getting pile drivers.
I had 2 games for the NES. I had 3. I had 2 wrestling games and Blades of Glory, the ice hockey.
Blades of Steel or Blades of Glory?
I still have it. I don't get rid of my systems.
It's Blades of Steel.
Blades of Steel. That's right. Blades of Steel.
Blades of Glory was the movie with.
I had a momentous brain fart. Yeah. Oh Lord!
I'm always correcting you.
My number 5. It was from 1994. I kind of went the same way. I went with games that I played the most, that had the most influence on me as a wrestling fan and as a video game fan. Saturday Night Slam Masters. So imagine, if you will, if you gave carte blanche to the king of fighting games and then have them make a wrestling game. Capcom, makers of Street Fighter, made this Saturday Night Slam Masters for the Genesis and the SNES. Larger-than-life characters. What was really cool was the artwork was done by Tetsuya Hara, who created Fist of the North Star cartoons and anime. It was super fast. It played like a fighting game, but you could pin, you could submit, you even had countouts. This game kicked some serious ass, and not many people remember playing it. But I played the hell out of it. I had it for the Genesis.
Did this have like a cool ring entrance to it?
It had a really cool kind of
like pyro and spotlights and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I remember this game.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was for the Genesis. Kyle, what is your numero 4?
Okay, number 4. I'm gonna go with WWF No Mercy in '64.
Awesome game.
That is a great game.
Great game. Wonderful game. But and it can go in any spot. Honestly, these top 4 just can be interchanged at any time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just love the fact that you can hit a guy with a chair and you bleed.
Yeah, right.
So didn't this come out right after? Or maybe I'm getting the game wrong. Didn't this come out right after the Hart's left WWE? And you could be the Bret Hart while he was in WCW.
I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know Bret wasn't in the game.
Yeah,
so
I know. I mostly played with the Hardys.
Yeah,
those are the 2 I played with most on this game.
All right, Canada Dry, number 4 for you.
All right, so I'm going to the arcade for this one.
Yeah,
and it is called The Main Event, and it's a tag team wrestling game. This game was so ahead of its time. The graphics were amazing. You could have guys that looked like Hulk Hogan, but he wasn't.
Yeah,
and it had the great talking. Make the tag. It was great. I spent so many quarters on that game.
Oh man, I do remember that game. I do remember make the tag.
That's all I remember about the game and the audio. It's just make it, and the larger than life sort of commentating in the game as well.
Oh yeah, it was everything was over the top.
Do you remember that game, Kyle? Probably before your time.
Yeah, probably.
All right, my number 4 is going to be WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game. Came out in '95. So imagine Mortal Kombat style graphics.
I hate this game.
With a WWF and WWE license. That's exactly what you got. Midway made this game. You had photorealistic characters, and they had all the top stars. They had Bret Hart, they had Shawn Michaels, Riz Ramon. Now, while you couldn't technically bleed out your character, if you hit Bret Hart, he would bleed hearts. Or if it was Shawn Michaels, it was broken hearts.
They did a similar game within your house. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yes, pretty much the same exact thing. It was over the top and it was goofy, but let's be honest, at that point in time, pro wrestling was kind of goofy and over the top as well. So it fit in very well. I mean, you had Taker, you had Bret, Shawn Michaels, and you also had Doink the Clown. So, it wasn't a home run all the time, but it was a great game. I have it on my laptop and I play it. I bust it out every once in a while. I'll bust it out to play just for.
I didn't play that game. I played more in your house.
Yeah.
But I hated the round 1, round 2 thing. But it was the only wrestling game I could afford.
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry, my dog's in my office. All right. So, Kyle, what is your number 3?
Okay, my number 3 is a more recent game, but because WWE 2K20 is trash, and I still play it till this day, I'm going with 2K19.
Yeah.
Really, mostly universe mode. That's pretty much where I spend most of my time. I won't even play with WWP. I'll literally just create AEW universe and just have my own AEW video game, basically.
The creative mode on that game is just amazing.
It is.
They let you do anything. It's a huge universe. And how they drop the ball on the next game is just so.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Like they just had to add to that game to make it better.
Yeah, but now from what I've been hearing, rumors of the 2K21 or 22 or whatever it is that they're doing next, they're supposed to be bringing back GM mode, which I'm very happy about. Hopefully, if they do it,
that would be cool. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I love the meme that's been going around of that, where it's like 2K developers after every WWE release, like, seriously, guys, we just finished their character.
All right, Canada Dry, numero 3 for you.
I'm going back to the arcade.
Yeah.
And that is WWF Superstars. What a great game. You could be Bret Hart. You could be Big Boss Man, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Demolition. Oh, that game was awesome. I spent so many quarters on that game as well.
I totally remember that game. I've dumped many a paycheck and quarters into that, or have decided to forego laundry to play that game in the arcade. You have to make those tough decisions in life. Do I want to use my quarters for laundry, or do I want to use them for arcades?
And arcade wins every
time. You can always wear underwear. You can always flip it around. Wear it. My number 3 is WCW versus NWO Revenge for the 64. We're talking back in the day when WCW was on the doorstep, knocking on the door with a shotgun, getting ready to blow WWF's head clean off. I mean, they were days, months away from being bankrupt. 83 weeks. That's how long WCW reigned over WWE.
This game came at the highlight of that period.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You got to face it. WCW had the best storylines. They had the best factions, the NWO. They had the best storylines, NWO. Everything about it was just consistently better than WWF, and the video game was the same as well.
Now, this game, it wasn't the best NWO WCW game, but the time it came out was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on. Hurry, quiet, sit down. Sorry. This is going to be entertaining for the people watching this video. It wasn't button mashing brawler either. You're talking about a video game where you could chain wrestle a little bit, and you can, use these great moves that these players had instead of just bashing buttons and hoping you can knock your guy out. And it had all the venues and all the pay-per-view venues. I mean, to me, that just freaking rocked. That was the big seller for me. Was that aspect of the game. Kyle, number 2.
Kyle is frozen.
I think Kyle's frozen.
Like many of my games, he gets frozen. So I'm going to go ahead and do my number 2, and we'll get back to Kyle right after. My number 2 is Monday Night Raw for the Sega Genesis /NES.
Yes.
And it was the first time you could be Bret Hart at home.
Yes.
And so that was really cool. What I loved about this game is you could knock out the ref, and you could go to town. And you cheat. And you would spend like 10 minutes trying to knock out the ref just so you could do illegal things in Monday Night Raw. And so that was a great game for the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. Kyle, what's your number 2?
My number 2?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with SmackDown versus Raw 2007.
Yeah.
I mostly played GM mode like more than anything in that game, and I believe that's the game where they added an option to where you could actually write your own dialogue. So like you could actually like do everything you wanted to do.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember that mode where you could write your own dialogue a little bit. I think Kyle froze again.
Just like my games. You got to blow them. You got to blow them.
And then slide them back in.
Blow the computer.
Well, I'll go with my number 2, then we'll get Kyle back in. So my number 2 is 2K14. There's something to be said for a game maker, Ukes. They have made consistently the best video games, whether it be in Japan, whether it be in America. They constantly made it. Every iteration after 2K14 was because 2K14 was about damn near perfection. You got to relive every single WrestleMania moment. You got to go ahead and take on the Taker's undefeated streak, which was freaking phenomenal. It was awesome. They had an awesome create a wrestler system. You could play as yourself. You could play as guys from WCW. You could play with guys from Japan. they had a huge bevy of creating the ability to create a wrestler. I don't think there's been a robust game from Ukes since 2K14.
Okay, so Ukes is the maker of the AEW game.
Yeah.
So which is the game that Kenny Omega really wanted to base this off of? Wasn't it one for the N64?
Yeah, it was the WrestleMania 2000 and the WCW Revenge. Is, you know, he wanted that big blockiness, you know, where you look massive,
but just like with better graphics. So.
Yeah, with way better graphics, way better graphics. I don't know what happened to Kyle.
So I'll go ahead with my number.
Yeah, what's your number one?
Well, you see, I my first WCW wrestling game was WCW Thunder.
Oh, Thunder.
And what I loved about this game, it was the first one where you could see, as you're picking the characters, they're telling you why you should pick them.
Yeah. Yep.
And they gave a great promo. It's like, my favorite was Raven.
Yeah.
And you clicked on Raven. He said, "Pick me, don't pick me. I don't really care." And you're like, "Well, I kind of want to pick him now."
That is so awesome. I do remember Raven saying,
and you could make your own factions in this game.
Yep.
You could switch them between Raven's flock and NWO, and you can make your own little Heart Foundation, which I always did because WCW dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, you know, I mean, Thunder had such a unique aspect to it, you know, because the graphics were, at that time, I thought the graphics were better than anything else out there.
WCW Mayhem was probably their best game on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
But SmackDown was my first love. Not SmackDown, sorry, Thunder was my first love.
Yeah. Kyle, what's your number one video game of all time?
My number one is SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain.
Yeah.
PS2. A game. That game had an amazing story, just a really great gameplay. I love that you could go fight in the streets and get hit by cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So is this the first game with the bikini matches and all that?
It may be, or unless it was one of the earlier SmackDowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was also this really cool thing that you could go into story mode and you could you can select who all is on the roster to be in the story. You could actually remove everybody and only have created people. So like there was times where I'd play story mode, I'd have like Spider-Man and stuff in there. It was great because like the story still continued with them in it. It was just funny just seeing Spider-Man in it and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually I bought this game in Thailand in a night market, and I was foolish enough to think that it would work on my PlayStation 2 back home. It didn't. I was so disappointed.
Oh man, let me tell you because this brings me to my number one. So one of the great parts about as I had family that lived in Japan through the armed forces, and I learned how to mod my systems pretty early on from PlayStation on. I'd buy a chip, I solder it, and put it onto my system so I could play Japanese video games. The one that caught me, and this is the one that I still play to this day, Fire Pro Wrestling Returns, done by Spike. This is what every video game should aspire to be. That is, create a game so realistic that it makes all other wrestling video games go in the corner and cry. Not only do you have 300 plus real name, real in-person wrestlers, but you had 500 slots to create your own wrestler as well. You had WWE, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan, Noah, and many more. But you have probably the most complicated move system in all of it. There's no button mashing at all. This is pure chain wrestling. You could set up, body slam, arm bar, throw them into the ropes, do a flip. I mean, you had to plan out your match exactly how you wanted to go about it. The GM mode was the best because you could set up your own promotion with whoever you wanted to, and you wrote out storylines. And actually, I ran an eFed based off of Fire Pro Wrestling Returns, where everybody would send in who their character was. I'd create the character, I'd throw on the show, and then I'd post on a bulletin board back in the day exactly what went on in the match. We had champs, we had everything. This is the precursor to AFW that we have presently. Yeah,
the new game is great too.
What's that?
The new Fire Pro Wrestling.
Oh yeah, the Fire Pro Wrestling World Tour. Yeah,
yeah. Alex Haney is making us an effing wrestling ring, and he showed me a video of He-Man wrestling Shredder in an AFW ring. So it's awesome, that the creative mode in that game.
Oh, it's awesome, and I mean, when you have an entire Reddit board that is dedicated to Fire Pro Wrestling as a whole, that's how dedicated their fans are. And
that game is pretty hard, though, isn't it?
It's not easy. It's easy to pick it up. It is a pain in the ass and a bitch to master. I played it for thousands of hours, and I would say I'm lucky if I have a 25% win percentage. Wrestling, it just drives you bonkers. I mean, I'll play it for like 5 hours straight. I get so pissed off, I turn it off, and I won't touch it for like 3 months. And I'm like, hey, you know what I could do? Let's pick up Fire Pro Wrestling Returns and play it again. And then I go through this vicious cycle.
So we have the new AEW game coming out.
Yeah.
Do we know what it's called at all yet?
No name yet.
No name. So this game is pretty much almost, it's going to be 3 years in the making when it comes out, right?
I can't say.
Almost. and it's going to be millions of dollars poured into this game.
Yeah.
That we can say, right?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it only because how great would it be for the JFB to take on Kenny Omega for the AEW World Title?
Yeah.
They're going to have downloadable characters, obviously. Once when they sign someone new, you're going to be able to download them, and I'm excited for this game. I'm not buying any new wrestling game until this comes out. That's how committed I am to it.
I'm saving my cash.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it's $100 for this game, it's worth it.
Yeah, I'd pay $100 just so I could put Natalia Markova into the game.
Yes.
Have her be the AEW women's champion. Me and you can be tag team champions.
I'm excited for the creative mode. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you excited about? What are you excited about this game the most, Kyle?
Probably creation mode.
Yeah.
That's what I liked more than anything in wrestling games. I just love creating things.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm not a big guy. I don't play video games. I mean, I play video games still to this day, but I don't get hyped for video games. I don't keep track of when they're coming out. It's like, oh, hey, MLB The Show just came out this week. I'll go ahead and get it. But like, I'm tracking AEW's game, like tracking it, just because I cannot wait to play this game.
And it would be really cool for us to everyone who owns the game to even put a league together, where we could have matches with each other. That would be sick.
That would be awesome. I would be totally down to do that as well. Have a big, huge league and just beat the hell out of each other in the ring. Got a beef on Twitter. You got a beef on Facebook. Take it in the ring. All right, guys. Well, that is our show. Oh, wow. We only went 34 minutes. We have anything else we want to talk about?
Do you want to talk about anything, Kyle, in particular?
I don't have anything, honestly.
Okay.
Okay, so we just got our website up. It's
Yes,
up and
we did.
running. FNWrestling.com.
Yep.
That's
You want
all
to join
I got there.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's www.fnwrestling.com. If you want to, you can go ahead and check it out. You can sign up for the giveaway on there. We have a direct link to both both stores, the FN Wrestling store and the Adrian Adonis store as well. If you have what it takes to write some copy for us, if you want to talk about the news or you think you have something on your mind that you want to get off, sign up. We have direct links on there. You can click on it and send an email to us or reach us out on social media. And if you have what it takes to jump on and be an addition to the F&T team, then more than welcome. We'll take you on. Not a problem.
And AFW is taking off as well.
Yeah.
That's our prediction league. We got almost 67 people, I think, now. And so everyone's on the website. You can see who the champion is. So it's really taking off.
Yeah.
And when we started AFW, I think we had like 10 people.
Yeah.
And it's grown. Like Dallas, when I handed off to Dallas, it really flourished, and he's done an awesome job on that league.
Dally took it and ran with it big time.
Sometimes you got to get out of your own way, and that's what I did.
Yep. Handed it off to Dally. Dally took it and ran it and is running it in for a touchdown.
He's the right person.
Yeah, he's a great GM for a prediction league.
And hopefully we can get you in there, Kyle. If you could join AFW, we'd love to have you.
Oh yeah,
and it'd be an honor.
Yeah, it'd be cool. So we'll figure out between Canada Dry and the JFB what we'll be talking about next week. But hopefully we'll be getting on a guest, a guest wrestler, and maybe. We'll even go ahead and talk a little bit about SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is coming up. Maybe we can look back at a couple of our favorite years. I know for me, SummerSlam 92 is the end-all, be-all of all SummerSlams. But 2002 is not bad either. But yeah, so anyway, go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/FN Wrestling. You can reach us on Twitter. I'm at the one JFB. Canada Dry is the Canada Dry. And you can find us on everywhere. Instagram.
So yeah, if you go to After Wrestling, all the links are afterwrestling.com, all the links are there. Anyways.
Yeah, all the links are there. Just follow us. And on that note, Canada Dry, has Hulk Hogan ever gone back to you?
No, Hulk Hogan is avoiding me like the plague. I type him and all of a sudden my numbers, just like the keyboard freezes up. So he's got some hacker in my system where I can't even type to him anymore. So that's Canada Dry 10. Hulk Hogan with a big old goose egg. Canada Dry out. Ding, ding, ding.